Jag Shamash. My name is Borat. I like you peoples. Introducing Shoot to Hunt podcast. Ryan Avery. You wide and not so tall. Chunky boy, respect. A Jacob Moshaney. When he lays his head on the pillow, he sounds like Chainsaw. Not quite at all. Rum.
Have we ever had another podcaster on here?
I was just trying.
Well, you had Cliff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cliff Gray.
okay.
It's funny. Cliff Gray did a podcast with me. It came out today. So make sure y'all listen to it. Jay did a podcast with me. Go listen to that.
Who possibly wants to podcast?
Your podcast
with
was pretty, put my headphones up just a scooch. People like that one that we did too on mine. Yeah.
Good?
That's perfect.
Headphones? Yeah. Jake, you're good?
Well, now we're going to have, now we're going to have all kinds of opportunities to talk more about, podcasts back and forth.
We are.
Should be called the Mindful Traveler is what you should be called.
I should be. I'm about 4,000 miles deep into a road trip right now.
I hate driving so much. That is horrible. You got to really be a committed, Ryan and you are probably now the most committed hunters that I know.
I don't even mind. I think it's the only superpower I got is road tripping. Like, dude, give me some podcasts, a bunch of black coffee. I'm off to the races.
Go through real quick. If you didn't know, Jay Nichols.
Yep.
The Mindful Hunter, the
Correct.
Mindful Hunting Podcast, Mindful Hunting Reviews, whatever else you got going on over there.
Yep.
Mindful Hunter Store.
Mindful Hunter Store coming soon. We're going to get into that in a minute, but I wanted you to go over.
No, he's got a store already. No, you're selling.
Well, Forged in the Backcountry is the apparel brand.
Okay, Forged in the Backcountry. That's where you get those really quality underwears.
Yeah, that I think your
Ryan.
kids stole from you.
Dude.
Did you get them back?
They were on his desk, and then they were gone. So I bet you Mason took them.
He was actually. I just saw him in some underwear the other day, and they look like they actually fit him. And I thought to myself, wow, what are those?
They must be them.
He has them.
Okay.
Well, you saw him. He's about a area code wide.
Get into that a little bit because people, even on Rockside, which is gear driven, we don't talk about boxers enough. Kind of go in the design philosophy behind your boxers. I love them.
Dude, boxers are one of those things you don't really think much about. Socks and underwear, you get them once a year at Christmas. You don't put a lot of thought into them.
Well, and we'll talk about the second product you just mentioned there in a second. But
okay,
here is the thing. I was never happy with any of the boxers from any of the companies. And there's at the beginning of my hunting career, I was like what most of these guys do. You do like one or two, let's say 5 to 8 day trips a year. And I remember, what were those first light ones called? They were like Red Desert or something. They were merino. And I loved them, but I only wore them for 10 days a year. So they were fine. Then I got to a point in my career, I spent 140 days in the field last year. And so all the rules change with apparel when you start spending that many days hunting. And none of the boxers that I wore would hold up, be comfortable enough, dry quick enough from any of the hunting companies across the board. And so I fell in love with these Lululemon Air Mesh long 7-inch boxers.
Lululemon.
If that, you got to be pretty comfortable in your manhood.
You do.
To be shopping at Lululemon.
Yeah.
It is definitely not something you share.
Yeah.
So that.
I'm also from Vancouver, which is the home of Lululemon. So it's a little bit more common there.
Definitely.
And in my previous life, I was a business consultant and Lululemon was one of my biggest clients. So
we were just traveling. I saw all kinds of random international dudes on our trip that were wearing Lululemon.
Dude, for travel clothes, those pants, the shirts, you can't beat that shit.
There were so many dudes because you recognize the logo right away because you see your lady with it, right? You see the logo on dudes all over, and then Japanese dudes with Louis Vuitton.
Yeah,
apparently Louis Vuitton is like the level you want to be at in Japan, dude. I mean shoes, all the way up from the shoes up, Louis Vuitton.
No shit.
Crazy.
Interesting.
So I loved those boxers. And then they went through some kind of manufacturing switch or whatever. And, I'm a dude. So when I like something, I buy 10 of them. And then when they die, I buy 10 more. So that's what happened with the boxers. I ran them for 2 years. They all started to die. I bought a pile more. And I remember I was the first weekend out with one. And sometimes you're reaching through your zipper and you'll grab the gooch of the underwear to pull it down to stop it riding up. And my thumb went right through the underwear. I'm like, dude, I've been wearing these for 3 days. And they all blew apart like that. And that's when I decided there's got to be a better way to do that. And luckily I I'd worked with them long enough and I knew the material. Not like, wasn't anything like trade secrets, but I had a very good concept of what those boxers were made out of. But I knew what was like the delta between what they were able to do and what I wanted them to do. So I basically built like a souped up version of those. And you're right. People always ask me like, what's Forged in the Backcountry going to focus on? What kind of gear are you going to release next? And my North Star has always been, if I see a hole in the market that I think I can provide a unique solution to that no one else is providing, then I'll go build something. But unless that situation arises, I'm not going to make shit just to make shit, because I think that's a big problem in our industry. Like you see these small apparel brands kind of pop up and they'll come out with a whole line of shit. And it's like, there's no way you had that many good ideas. You had one or two good ideas, but then you thought, if I'm going to go to market, I want a whole selection of SKUs. That's why I think what Steve did partnering with Outdoor Vitals and what Brad did with his clothing project, I really respect that, because it's like they both saw 2 or 3 pieces that they weren't happy with and they went and built that. And I think that's a much more successful way to go about, especially apparel design, but any product. I mean, look at Unknown and Shoot to Hunt. It's like the same deal. You see a hole in the market, you develop a product for it.
Correct.
Yeah. On that note, though,
we got a mystery bag under the table coming out here.
That was quick.
So exclusive. I figured I'm coming on what is, by the way, this is my favorite podcast.
I'm sorry.
Of all the podcasts. I shit you not. I love this podcast. And we need more shit talking podcasts. It's kind of nice when you have brands on and all that shit, but it's just you two guys sitting around bullshitting is my favorite road tripping podcast. So don't feel like you need an actual topic. Just talk to each other for an hour. That's all any of us really want to listen to.
That's funny, because we always try to lean towards, damn, we got to get somebody on.
And you don't.
Somebody on.
You don't. Yeah. And so I'm like, if I'm coming on the Shoot to Hunt podcast, I need to like bring some heat.
Yeah.
So I've never talked about these on any podcast. I'm officially announcing.
We love that shit.
The Forged in the Backcountry base socks.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm going to make sure I've got sizes here for both of you, but I'm just going to pass you one pair each.
I think Ryan wears like a size 4.
So you can see.
Should be good.
I need a wide pair. Dude, I like the gold.
I need a size 4 wide.
Extra wide.
I need a Hobbit size.
Dude, I like.
Okay, I'm gonna say. Can I say some shit about them first?
Yeah, go to town, and then I'll give you the.
What I noticed right away is you're thick in a spot here that I have never felt thickness before, and
Correct.
I'm sure you're gonna have a reason for all that. But
yep.
So like up on where your boot hits your shin.
Yep.
That whole area is extra padded. I've never seen that in my life.
Yep.
Two things that I noticed. I never really thought about right left.
Yeah.
Until the Coues ones.
Yeah.
And here's the fucking thing. When you use those right left and you fuck up in the dark and you switch them, you know instantly. It's a fucking thing that people do not believe is a thing.
Yeah, totally.
Well, your right foot is not your left foot, and your left foot is not your right foot.
The padding's probably a little.
Well, from the factory, they're identical. But as soon as you put them onto your foot and it molds, then they're kind of like dedicated to that foot.
Even if you fucking wash them, it still stays the same, which is bizarre to me.
I agree. Yeah.
Once you use them enough.
Yeah.
I like the little metal holders.
Okay,
here,
so
top
let's talk about what was broken.
Get them.
Okay. I hate merino. Almost full stop. Again, because when you're spending 100+ days in the field, the shit just doesn't last. I think there's some use cases for like late season, mid to heavyweight merino. Sure. But like ultralight merino base layers, I hate them. They never dry. They stretch. They rip apart on any type of bramble bush. They're brutal. Absolutely brutal. So I don't like merino. And all the socks, I do have bigger ones than that for you.
No, I'm looking over, and motherfucking Ryan literally has the size 4.
Yeah.
Look at the distance between the heel and the toe on yours compared to this one.
Yeah,
this is like a man sock.
They'll fit like a glove.
Yeah.
Hey, God didn't need a lot when he's perfection over here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Sorry, Jay.
So like darn tough and what is it? Farm to field to shit.
I know
farm feet.
Yeah.
Feet to farm.
Anyways, kind of have the market cornered. But like I specialize in long backcountry trips. Like when I go on a 10-day trip, the most I will ever bring is 2 pairs of socks, and normally I only bring 1. The problem is, by the end of the second day, the heel is riding halfway up your calf.
The stretch.
Because they have a two-way stretch, not a four-way stretch, and the merino loses shape almost instantly. Merino socks also take forever to dry. And so you end up with this wet foot, with this stretchy sock. It's not a particularly comfortable material. It's too tight to get back on your foot. Like, they're just not that great at what they're supposed to do.
Ryan's so excited he's fucking putting them on.
Yeah, those are definitely a little snug. I'll get you one pair up.
They're a little small.
Yeah. So this is an 88% synthetic sock. It contains 12% wool for a very specific reason, and it's not merino wool, it's man wool, real wool. And so there's 5 fabrics in total. There's wool, acrylic, polyamide, Coolmax, and then this a really special fabric called Reprieve cross-sectional polyester.
Good Lord.
So every section on this sock has a very specific textile for a very specific reason. Like, you see those orange stripes on the bottom? Mm-hmm. That's Coolmax. So that is meant to evaporate and evacuate moisture as quick as possible. So any of the hot spots where you're going to get a lot of heat and sweat developing, we've got Coolmax. And then if you look at the gray stuff that's on the toes and the heel, that is that Reprieve XX, which is a cross-sectional braided form of polyester, which is 10 times the strength of normal polyester.
That's a fucking sock scientist going on over here.
These have been over a year in development. You're currently looking at the 6th iteration of these
And I
socks.
can feel, so I'm looking at Ryan's foot right now. So you got these almost rubberized, kind of raised black lines at the back of the heel. Is that to keep that all in the same spot?
And that's the wool acrylic blend. So that's going to be a little bit better at dumping heat than the Reprieve.
Okay, so most people, I believe, are over-socked when they do backpack hunts. They fucking, for some reason, think they need all these big, thick socks.
Yep.
What, you said man wool.
Yeah.
First of all, what is man wool?
Well, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's just merino is not the toughest. It's meant to, when you use it in shirts, it's very soft, it's very comfortable, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's utilizing the best
properties. When I hear wool, I think
of
sheep.
Wool.
Right? Am I wrong to say that all wool comes from sheep?
All wool comes from sheep.
Okay, so what is the real difference then between what makes sheep wool merino?
It is a particular type of wool from a particular type of sheep. So It's just like a softer, nicer version of wool.
There's certain climates where they claim that they grow or they get thicker, better weave, better consistency of the wool.
Yeah, and you say
I think it's a lot of marketing
wool.
too, to be honest with you.
I agree with you. New Zealand is
I was a forestry engineer for 15 years, and the one shirt I wore every single day of my career, in Canada we call it a stanny. It's like a gray wool long sleeve shirt that has 4 buttons on the front. And it's real wool, itchy, shitty wool. But that thing would keep you warm when it was wet. It sucks for the backcountry because it won't pack down. But when I think of wool, I think of old wool socks, super uncomfortable, super itchy. But wool does have some very redeeming qualities. It will keep you warm when wet. It does do a good job of not compacting down and keeping the other fibers separate. So the black sections in these socks is a combination of wool and acrylic.
Okay.
One problem, this is Kafar's pure wool.
Okay.
Merino wool sock. And I actually like these except for hunting, which seems counterintuitive. Because when this motherfucker, I have sweaty feet, when this fucker wets out, I was one of the first people on Roxland saying, merino wool has a problem. You get that fucker wet, which is your base layer. It's a fucking chore to dry out.
Oh, never.
You have to sleep in it.
Yes.
Or you have to have a fire.
Yep.
And I love these socks for day-to-day use. I don't hunt in these socks because they never seem to be dry.
Yeah.
Which causes abrasion, causes blisters, which causes other problems, obviously.
100%.
So where this
and
design...
swamp foot. Your foot can't be wet 14 hours a day.
No, you do get swamp foot. So what, if I'm going to buy this, what is the use case? What temperature range? What kind, is it purely backpack hunting? Who's buying this sock?
So here's the thing, and this is going to sound a little bit markety jargon, but the whole idea is built for the backcountry, tough enough for the job site, comfortable enough to be worn every day. And I know it sounds kind of bit like bullshit. Just buy, these won't be available probably until April 1st. But you will see, I'm going to leave you guys with some, beat the shit out of them. I just finished what did I do? 14 days of hunting. I did 7 days in Arizona and 7 days in Mexico. I wore these socks for 7 straight days in Arizona.
Same sock.
Same sock. Took them off every night when I went to bed, put them on every morning when I got up. I washed them once. Then I went to Mexico and I wore them for 7 straight days again. In fact, I wore them for 8 straight days because I wore them on the day that we drove to Mexico. And they are, and the only reason I'm not wearing them today is because I haven't had a chance to wash them yet. And after 7 or 8 straight days in Mexico, they're not something you want to.
They're a little funky.
They're a little funky. Because and that's the other thing I want to talk about. Everybody always cites the anti-odor component of merino. Number one, I don't give a shit. Like, if the only redeeming quality of a shirt is that I don't smell, I don't care. I would rather smell and have a garment that performs well. Also, I think
You're
synthetics.
Right. That's always in marketing.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And it's like synthetics, listen, that might have been true 15 years ago. Like when the first like quick dry polyester came out, it smelled terrible. That's not really true anymore. So all the black fabric in here does have Polygiene added to it to keep odor down. And you can wear them like it's your foot. I'm not going to tell you that after 5 or 6 days of hunting, your socks aren't going to smell. They are, but it's not like an abnormal amount of odor. And I think that's a little like merino fanboys have been like hanging on to that forever. And I just don't find it that compelling of an argument.
I imagine it's really important with a sock to make sure that it fits right.
100%.
So a question from the consumer side, when you're putting a sock on,
yep,
should you be stretching it to get to the heel, or should you be allowing it to kind of stay in its own state and then hit the heel?
I think this is an interesting question. This is also why I did 4 sizes with these instead of the standard 3, because I want people to be able to buy the right sock for their foot. And that's the other thing. That's why I did so much testing with these. With my boxers, yes or no, on the 5th or 6th day of a hunt, when you put those on, they fit relatively the same as they did on day 1.
That'd
be nice.
That's probably the most redeeming quality of your boxers. They do not change form whether you fucking sweated them out or not.
And so that was a deal breaker with these socks. When I was working with the manufacturer, I was like, they have to fit the same on day 6 that they fit on day 1. Now, if you rip this thing on your foot and stretch the hell out of it, you will get the heel to go up an inch or 2. But as long as you just apply a regular amount of pressure, you want a little bit of stretch in there so that it fits snug to your foot. But like this part right here should go in the bottom of your heel every time. Dude, and when I put those darn Tufts on day 3, this ends up halfway up my calf because the sock is so stretched out. Yeah. And that will not happen with these.
Same with these, become like gelatinous jelly.
100%. They just lose their shape completely. That's my problem with the merino base layer. By the time you put it on day 3, it's like the sleeves are hanging 3 inches past my fingers. Yes. It's just like, this doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah, it happens. Even with like Aerowool, which is a blend, I think it has nylon in it now, or it was poly that went to nylon. It still gets kind of shapeless.
Yes.
And there's no snug fit. It's just kind of just hanging there.
What's the story here?
So that is polyamide, which is basically like a strongly woven version of nylon. It's like a non-branded version of nylon. Nylon's technically just a trademarked fabric name.
How much?
The extra padding?
The extra padding is just to protect the front of your shin. So that's where you take most of the abuse. Like when you're walking and your shin is rubbing up and down the back of the tongue of your boots, I wanted some extra protection there to protect. And the reason you can't do that with a wool sock is you'd get too hot. But because it's a synthetic and it dumps heat so much more effectively, I can have these thicker sections and not have to compromise the ability to evacuate moisture.
That's why you have no hair there after you've been hiking for a long time.
Exactly.
Interesting. I want to know your thoughts on this, because when Coues kind of like their claim to fame is they didn't use any spandex or acrylic. Right. What is your thoughts on that for holding moisture? Because how much percentage of this is spandex?
Oh, it's like single digits. There's probably like 2 or 3%.
Do you believe
I gotta
that?
Go. Sure. Yeah. But if it's only 2 or 3%, it's not a significant amount. Like there's spandex in the boxers. Have you had an issue with the boxers maintaining moisture?
No, and I think that's the reason also why they keep their form really well.
100%.
So you can't like throw the baby out with the bathwater.
So that was the hardest part about the development of the boxers, was getting the exact percentage of modal and spandex, because more modal, by the way, modal is made from the cellulose of beech trees. So that's the other thing people don't understand.
I already knew that.
There you go.
I didn't know that.
About those boxers is that's the reason the boxers also don't smell. There's no scent additive in the boxers at all, but that is a natural antimicrobial, like organic ingredient. It's made from trees. It's not a synthetic material. Only the spandex in the boxers is a synthetic material.
We should say they're not boxers in the boxer sense. They're boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't want to scare customers away.
No.
I would like to say, too, my boxers never smell because, like I tell my wife all the time, my shit don't stink.
There you go.
I will say. There's the thing about boxers. I also want to hit your boxers one more thing. They are mule and horse riding approved.
Perfect.
I did a bad thing. I took Duluth I really would wear the Duluth trading. I don't know the name of the brand.
Yeah.
Their seams, not riding approved.
Right.
You're going to have some fucking monkey butt on long trips with that. Yours don't have a problem. And it's funny. I never realized that. I wear these Wrangler, the cheap Wrangler sport pants they have.
Yep.
Not riding approved, even though they're Wranglers. They definitely get some swamp ass with the seams.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting that yours fits the bill on both sides.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to admit that was a happy accident. I didn't do a whole lot of horse riding testing, but I'll take it.
You're talking about all the areas where your body is touching the saddle.
The saddle, and that the seams are right there. They kind of wear. It's kind of friction
makes
point.
Sense, yeah.
And you jump off and you're like, why do I have like a road rash in a weird spot on my ass?
Right.
That's because of the seams.
Gotcha.
But if you're 12 miles in, it's not fun to start hiking with already monkey butt.
Yeah.
So break this down one more time. What's in it and why again?
Okay, so we have 5 different fabrics. We have polyamide, Cool Max, Reprieve, XS, polyester, wool, and acrylic. And it basically, the sock has like 3 main goals: durability, shape retention, and heat/moisture evacuation. And each of those materials is placed in a key spot on that sock to facilitate that task where it needs to.
Fair enough.
And they should be available. So here's another sneak peek. So last year I gave away a Swaro 85. And so I did a 2-month giveaway on Forged in the Backcountry. And for every $5 you spent, you got 1 entry to win a Swaro ATX 85.
Nice.
This year, that giveaway should start, I think, May 1st. I'm still debating right now. I think what I'm leaning into, so we can talk about the outfitting business later on, but I outfit in Canada. I do goat, mule deer, bear, and I do mule deer in both Alberta and British Columbia. And I think what I'm going to give away, I can't give away a goat hunt, but I think I'm going to let the winner choose any hunt they want. And it's going to be all expenses paid. So I will fly them up. I will take them out on a hunt. No tip will be expected whatsoever. They literally won't have to pay a dime, and they can pick whatever hunt they want. And I think I'm going to launch that around May 1st, but that's when these socks will, as soon as these are done production and all shipped over, and we are actually got a new expedited American shipping option that we just worked out. So people should get them even quicker.
So when
Hey, that being said, so what is the retail here? Well, let's say what is the U.S. retail and what is the Canadian retail?
I have not fully ironed that out. Here's what I will say. When you look at my boxers, they are at least 15% below my competition.
Yes.
The socks will be the same way.
Okay.
Like, let's say hypothetically a pair of Darn Tough is 30. These won't be any more than 25. There's no way they're going to not be less than the competition, and they will be significantly better than the competition for less money.
Copy. What is this logo you got up front here?
That's my Forged in the Backcountry logo.
Copy.
It's basically like a big F that kind of also looks like a boulder or a rock.
Gotcha.
We need these in the camo pattern because I'm a big fan of that camo pattern in your boxers.
You like the camo pattern?
Where the fuck did you come up with that camo pattern? That's a pretty good one.
Just made it up. Looked around, got a designer, made some shit up.
I like to make sure, when I'm archery hunting, that my socks are also camoed.
Yeah, dude. So I
just
lose them.
in case when I have to de-boot when I'm coming in for that last stock.
Yeah.
That the elk can't see my socks.
It's a fucking necessity.
For all of you that know, I don't archery hunt. I'm just talking.
And did your fucking son turn the heat up? Because it is.
I just told him to turn the AC on.
I
just told him to turn the AC on right now. I just texted him.
In here.
Yeah,
it did.
3 big dudes just got real excited.
Because there's a gentleman that sits at that table over there that for some reason he's cold if it's 80.
Okay.
Yes.
And he has a jacket on. So
I'm Canadian. I am
actually
hot.
Fucking
I'm just gonna go fix it.
You know what's funny about camouflage? I like camouflage base layers, underwear, socks. I'll never fucking hardly ever wear on the outer side.
That's
camouflage.
so funny.
I don't know why. It pisses me off actually sometimes when I see it.
I knew no one on the planet needed camo boxers, but I knew I had to do a second color because when you go away and you want 2 pairs, you need to know which one I've worn and which one I haven't.
Yes.
And so I was like, if I'm going to do a second color anyways, why not just do camo?
Yes. I don't know what you better name it, because I mean, I actually, when I saw it, I was like, another camo. When I pulled it, I was like, it kind of reminds me of the brush stroke in reverse a little bit. Fucking overseas, it's African. Anyways, people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's the brush stroke camo pattern that Form likes?
Oh,
Rhodesian brush stroke. It's like with green. I like it.
Which is pretty badass. Rhodesian is pretty badass.
It is fucking pretty sweet. All right. Well, shifting gears.
Yes.
We talked about you're the mindful traveler. I want you to break down, because I really didn't think about it until you mentioned on a podcast or we talked about it. It is easier for you to travel in the United States than to travel into your hunting territory as far as hours traveled.
Well, yeah, let's look at it like this. Like where I went on my goat hunt last year was an 18-hour drive from my front door. Where I went on my elk hunt in Montana last year was a 14-hour drive from my front door. So yeah, there's a ton of places. I mean, this where we're sitting here right now is 7 hours from Vancouver. And really, when you're going to hunt up north, like Prince George is kind of like halfway to getting up north, and it's 9 hours from my house. Yeah.
But you went international in the hunt you're just coming from.
Yeah. So let's back up 2 weeks. So I left Vancouver on the 14th. I drove 13 hours the first day, slept, drove 13 hours the next day. I got to Phoenix, Arizona. I hunted for 7 days. We then drove down to Tucson. We then drove across the Mexican border, down into Sonora, hunted for another 7 days. I then drove back to Tucson, which was 7 hours. I left Tucson, today's Monday, Saturday at 4 p.m. I drove 6 hours north, spent the night. Yesterday, I drove 15 and a half hours from Flagstaff, Arizona to Missoula. And then I woke up in Missoula this morning, drove 3 hours, 3 hours to get here. We'll wrap up this podcast and a couple other conversations. And then I'm driving 7 hours back to Vancouver. And I think I will have done approximately 4,000 miles and somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 hours of driving by the time I get home.
Enhance your shooting experience with STOCKY'S stocks. Are you tired of struggling with mediocre rifle stocks that hinder your performance? Imagine having a high-quality rifle stock that not only enhances your accuracy, but also provides superior strength and a lightweight build. STOCKY'S Stocks offers a wide range of premium rifle stocks manufactured with hand layup carbon fiber construction, a patented carbon fiber AccuBlock, and multiple finish options. Whether you're a long-range shooter or a hunting enthusiast, our stocks are perfect for you. Experience unmatched precision and durability with STOCKY'S stocks. We provide stock installation instructions, technical support, and guidance to help you choose the right stock for your rifle. Upgrade your shooting game today with STOCKY'S stocks.
With a 14-foot flat deck trailer on the back of my truck and 2 quads too.
Down Coues hunting in Mexico. I'd have a question about because you kind of did a DIY kind of deal.
Correct.
How was the border crossing with your weapons going into Mexico?
So it is bureaucratic, but it's not an issue. Like things take a long time. So it's just like when you get there, just put your chill hat on. Like do not expect to be through there in an hour. Like the first time we went across, we were there for 5 hours. But everybody's helpful.
At the border.
At the border. So when you first get to the border, you got to go to U.S. Customs first. You fill out what's called a 4457, basically declaring I am leaving the country with a rifle so that when you come back, you can prove I'm bringing back the same rifle I left with.
Same thing when you're going to South Africa to hunt too. You do it beforehand, not when you get to the border like we do it at the CBP office here.
Okay.
Yep.
And so basically they just have a mini CBP office right before the Mexican border, and that's where you stop.
So technically, if you didn't come from Canada, you could have had that form already done
100%.
in the U.S.
Yep.
So you have to do a form coming out of Canada into America that you're bringing a rifle, correct?
Yeah. So for me, it starts in Canada. I have to fill out what's called with the ATF. It's called a 6NIA, and it used to be I would have to like prove with a hunting tag or a competition that I was coming over. Like 3 years ago, they changed that. Now once a year, I just fill out a form 6NIA and I get 365 days of free travel with my firearm. And when I rock up to the border, I just show them that form. They make sure the serial number on my firearm matches the serial number on the form, and I drive across.
So it's per weapon, not per person.
Correct.
Okay.
And each weapon, they need like specific information about it. But you can file multiple weapons at the same time if you want to. So then you go down to the Mexican border. You have to file your Mexican gun permits in advance, like significant, like months in advance. So you do the American customs things with the 4457. Then you have to do 3 different permits when you get to Mexico. You have to get your gun permit, your tourist visa, and your vehicle permit. And all of these, I won't go into all the details. It's highly bureaucratic, but as long as you just take your time, cross your T's, dot your I's, not a big deal. Took us about 5 hours to get through all of that because they'll just take shit and they just leave for an hour and a half. And who knows if they just go to a room and smoking darts and hanging out. I don't know, but like whatever. Then they just come back and they're happy and they give you your shit and you leave. Then you have to go to the military. And then the military is the one who finally approves your permit. And we were like, why do we even bother stopping? Because nobody escorts you. But if you were to get pulled over and have a gun without a permit from the military, mucho problemos.
Mucho problem.
No, mucho expensivo.
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything with the 4-wheelers? They do anything with those?
So I had to have vehicle permits for my truck, my trailer, and my 2 quads. And basically, as long as they're all in your name, it's no problem. And they just want to see the VINs for everything. And they want to see basically like registration. You don't have to bring title, but you have to bring your registration proving I own this and it's in my name. And then I think I paid $100 for all 4 vehicle permits. And then your tourist visa, I don't even think I had to pay anything for the tourist visa. No, I did. Might have been $30 for the tourist. Yeah, $30 for the tourist visa and $70 for the vehicle permit.
I wanted to ask you, how long you had that CF Moto quad?
I just bought it.
How many miles you got on it?
200.
Everything's kosher.
Everything is super kosher. So far, I love it.
Okay.
So that was a screaming deal. So it's a 2024. It was a brand new model. They knocked $3,000, $3,500 off because it was a 2024. So I paid $10K US for that quad.
Yeah.
Brand new. And for an extra $1,500, I got a 5-year bumper to bumper.
Okay.
So no matter what happens, I just drop it off at the dealership. They fix it and I go pick it up. And with outfitting, I just need reliability. So I talked to a lot of people. Do you know CF Moto actually makes the enduro engines for the BMW enduro bikes?
No shit.
So they've been making all kinds of engines for years because you had a side-by-side, right?
I still have it.
But and you had an issue at first and then things went good?
I blew the engine at 98 miles.
Yeah.
And then they put a brand new engine in it. And ever since then, dude, it was more power and it's been badass ever since.
Everyone I talked to, because they basically launched into the retail market like 5 to 7 years ago. Everyone I talked to in the industry was like, listen, it's kind of like a Kia or a Hyundai. When they first launch, they're kind of like a bottom of the barrel brand and things are like a little bit, there's some kinks to work out, but then they work those out and they just slowly elevate themselves up. Like if you go compare one of the CF Moto Highland side-by-sides to the Can-Am Defender.
Oh, I did.
Dude, those things
it's half.
It's like, well, price, but feature set is almost better in the CF Moto.
Yes.
Like contrast leather stitching, huge touch screen.
Yeah.
Like they're beautiful.
Yeah. You're getting all the options for half the price.
100%.
At least.
So I'm over the moon. I love the thing.
And that being said too, when the motor blew, I don't want to say there was no questions asked, but for the most part, there was no questions asked. The one limitation would be I tried to take it. I bought it at a dealer in Spokane.
Yep.
Only because they had it in stock and the Idaho guy didn't, right?
Sure.
So I tried to take it first to the authorized Idaho dealer, and they were like, "Well, where did you buy this?" I said, "Well, I had to buy it in Spokane a year ago because you guys it was during COVID, whatever it was. You guys didn't have it in stock." Well, basically they said no, take it to the dealer you bought it from.
Okay.
And it was because it was local. I imagine maybe if it was 1,000 miles away, maybe they would have did it, but it was like they didn't want to deal with it because they didn't make the money when they sold it.
Sure.
It also shit the bed in a bad spot.
Oh yeah, it was well.
I mean, we were with you.
So we were grinding through some snow, right? So we were up trying to bait bears.
Okay.
And right, hey, come with that. So they got this big machine with tracks on it. So mine started not making it, and I did have the man-child in there with me.
Right.
So mine started not making it. We roped it up. He was pulling me. Long story short, let's just say the motor blew.
Yeah.
But it didn't blow until I got out of the snow and I was on the main road back to where the truck was. But then it literally, it started to die.
Fair.
And then it died.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the truth though. I've been around other high end Yamaha Hondas that shit the bed too.
Oh yeah.
So there is a lemon in everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shit the bed. They replaced the motor. The only thing I ended up having to pay for was the battery because technically the battery was a maintenance item. It wasn't warranted anymore.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to say I killed the battery. Anyways,
Is a capacity issue.
yes. So, and then, eventually they told me like the filter setup is really bad. Like the filter is in a very stupid spot. It's in front of the rear tire.
And they were fucking around if you changed the oil, or weren't they fucking around with you for a while?
Yeah, they tried to tell me it was a filter thing, and then they said this. That's why I say it wasn't almost no questions asked. They asked me a couple questions, and they got the job done.
And from everybody I've talked to in the industry, like from the dealer side, they're super easy to deal with warranty claims. Like they're not looking to bend anybody. And I think it's we can have a conversation about this as it applies to outfitting as well. But I think there are times when it's good to deal with brands on the way up because they're still trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
So you do get this like outsourced, like a disproportionate value for your money.
Agreed.
Because they're trying to get market share. They want to be known as a good, trustworthy brand. And so they go above and beyond where some of the other incumbents, they just don't feel the need to prove themselves anymore. So they're kind of lazy and complacent.
Yeah, I had a fucking coil problem with a Yamaha Grizzly. This is back in 2015, 16. Dude, they did not want to do shit. It was under the warranty. They kept on saying, they kept replacing the coil, but it kept burning it up. And I'm not a fucking mechanic. They didn't want to help me hardly at all. If it wasn't for specialty, I don't think I'd have got any help. The dealer I bought it from, Yamaha, big Yamaha, they didn't give a fuck.
No, because they don't have to.
Yeah. Interesting.
Anyways, I saw it up there, and we were in the market. I was going to get a double-seater quad, and then it was just a little bit too much money. So it was even the last year, not the last year's model. Dude took some money off or whatever, but it was still just shit. Just costs a lot of money now.
It does, for sure.
And when you talk about spending 17 or 18 grand on a quad, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot, and especially when you're that number, you're like right up close to a side by side.
Yes.
So it's like
on yours, is there a year? Like if I was to look for one, is there a year that I should stay above that maybe some changes were made or something like that?
I don't think you'll find anything older than a 2024 just because they're not around anymore.
Yeah.
But and what's unfortunate too is that's an 800XC and they don't even make that anymore in 2026. You have to go all the way up to the 1000, which I don't like because it's too big. I still like a quad that can be manhandled a little bit. Like I've got a 450 Kodiak out there at 09 Yamaha that I love because there's nothing I can get that thing into that I just can't pick it up and yank it out of.
Yeah.
Where that 800XC, you ain't picking that thing up out of anything.
Heavy.
It's a tank.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was going to buy another Yamaha, and I went in, and Can-Am was hungry to take on the Yamaha Grizzly, and they were making a single bore 700.
Yeah.
And they had a smoking deal in it. The reason I bought it is if I get in the snow, I can maneuver the back end and the front end and move it around, which did help me on my wife's elk hunt this year.
Yep.
Because I got stuck in a jam and for some reason I fucking pulled my winch in too far, so I couldn't pull it out.
Oh.
So I had to do my own fucking engineering, and I can manhandle it just enough to get it back unstuck.
Yeah, but the bigger ones, you cannot.
Hell,
like those thousands, it's like a Honda Civic, dude.
They're like a fucking 1,200 pounds on the hoof.
Yeah, they're big.
I think mine's like 700 on the hoof. Which,
Me and Mace can handle it.
Yeah. Well, you guys could probably pick it up off the ground.
For reps.
So 200 miles, no issues.
200 miles, no issues. It's been a dream. Yeah.
Dual
What I
cylinder?
did have to get used to was the gearing. I was trying to drive it in high because I always drive my Kodiak in high, and high is for like 70 miles an hour on a logging road. If you're doing any kind of like, just keep it in low because you can drive 40, 50 miles an hour in low, no problem at all. And that just took my mind a little bit to get used to. So I did smell a little bit of clutch a couple times in high, and I just realized, that's me driving this in the wrong gear.
You were driving high too slow.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that can be true for any model. You just got to get used to
100%.
How it applies to your duty cycle.
I just think I'm not used to the big new quads as much as I am to my old one.
Yeah.
So you get across the border. I did not even know there was DIY hunting in Mexico.
Yeah, it's a pretty big, it's a bigger market than I originally thought it was. And so basically you have these outfitters who contract out landowner tags because there's no real personal hunting market in Mexico. Like I don't think they have a concept of like public land. I don't even think like a regular dude can go get a hunting tag. Like it just does not work like that.
It's only for landowners.
Yeah. As far as I understand it, landowners have hunting tags based on how many acres they have. The bios give them X amount of tags per year. And then they come to arrangements to lease these to gringos. And then these outfitters normally like package that with some type of like help getting across the border. Like they'll organize your translator, they'll organize an escort to the ranch, and then they'll organize a cook at the ranch. And then you get these tags. And then once you get to the ranch, you're kind of on your own to like figure it out and kill some deer.
Are some of these ranches like, you have a big fish pond and you sell fishing licenses or whatever and you dump fish in there to help? Are they dumping deer into some of their land there?
In
Are they
the
drawing
mule
them in
deer
somehow?
industry, that's pretty rampant in Mexico.
Okay.
There will be high fence operations that are being sold as low fence operation,
Mhm.
and there will be pen raised mule deer like 220, 230, but those tags are going for literally like 50, 60 grand.
Mm.
So that's a thing. Coues deer, no, way too complicated. And the thing is, Coues deer hunting is still such a niche thing. Nobody's paying that kind of money to go kill big Coues deer. So it's just not worth it at this
Because
point.
bigs are littles, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Is there DIY mule deer hunting?
I don't know of any.
I haven't never heard of it.
No, I think the margins are so high and they're just not going to. I think there's some hybridized stuff. Like I've heard of guys, if they have a ranch and it's like not that great, they'll do like a bro deal and let a few guys go on there. But I don't think it's popular enough that there's an actual industry for it where anybody can go online right now, do a couple Google searches and line up a DIY Coues ranch for next year. No problem.
So now, I don't know how far you want to get into it, but now you've been down there.
Yeah.
Do it again. More information. How are you going to go about it?
I'll do it again, but I'll do it differently. So we leased our ranch off Jay Scott. He's widely known kind of Coues deer expert. He's been guiding and outfitting for a super long time. Very professional guy to deal with. Border crossing was phenomenal. Ranch was lined up phenomenal. All of that stuff was great. Our ranch sucked, like bad. So we were talking a little bit before the podcast. We hunted for 7 days, 5 guys, all experienced hunters. We saw 2 deer, a 106 and a 104. We killed both those. I killed the 106. My buddy Bo killed the 104. And then we saw like a 75, 80 inch 3-point, and we saw maybe 4 forkies and probably 15 does. And that was it.
How many days hunting?
7 straight days. And that was like glassing sun up till sundown. Like dudes were grinding. And I don't think there was anything untoward. I think Jay fully assumed we were going to have a good hunt. There were hunters there last year that didn't have a problem tagging out. So there was a decent population of deer there last year. If I was going to offer some form of constructive feedback, I was disappointed that there was no type of like pre-hunt verification. Like nobody was running trail cameras. No one from his team had gone in December for a day to like glass and say, is there a good deer population? Just based on the fact that last year was good, he sold his tags, we went, this year sucked. And I would have expected, because I think the sticker price from Jay is $39.50 per person. And I would have thought that for that amount of money, like 5 dudes, that's 20 grand. I would have thought, I'm not asking for a guided hunt, but I would have thought somebody would have went down there and made sure there was some deer on the property. Yeah. Because it was, not only was there no deer, there was supposed to be hundreds of turkeys. There was no turkeys. There was no javelina. There was massive evidence of overgrazing. And if you want my speculation as like a guy who doesn't ranch, I think the rancher probably went way too hard with cattle this year. And I think he just pushed all the deer off onto the neighboring ranches because you can't explain the lack of turkeys either. So again, I don't think Jay did anything untoward. Am I a little disappointed that somebody didn't go stick their head in there a couple weeks before we showed up and had a look to see if there was deer? Yeah, I think that's a bit of a miss.
That's a big expensive trip.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not
It's never happened to us either, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, we were telling about that.
Yeah. If you're going to charge for a drop camp or a hunt or whatever it is, and you're going into, you can't just put somebody in a spot and believe that there's supposed to be animals there.
Yeah.
That's not what you're paying for.
Or if it's even accessible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like literally we know your ass ain't even set foot in there. Like it is the Sahara Desert and there are no footprints on the dunes.
Yeah. And I've hunted lots of places. The access was sketchy as fuck for
Yeah.
a drop camp on our side. But
Yeah.
And knowing we had a child with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that You don't think it was malice. You just think it was overlooked.
Yeah, I think it was negligence.
Negligence.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, listen, one of the guys on the hunt was a close friend of Jay. Jay knows who I am and what I do for a living. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm kind of like the last guy you'd want to stick on a shitty ranch because I'm just going to go back and talk about it on YouTube and podcasts. I think he fully expected us to go down there and have a great hunt.
And like we know as hunters too, you can have a bad water year,
yeah.
you can have a bad snow year, you can have a bad anything year, and a spot that was fantastic for 7 years all of a sudden isn't good this year.
But if it was cattle, it'd have been a known thing if somebody walked in there in December.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If somebody had gone in there December just to because I was trying to think about this because I'm trying to put together a season for next year of guiding down there. And it was like, okay, what would I have done differently? Well, first I talked to different outfitters when I got back. And the outfitter I talked to was like, okay, number one, he does predator management. So he'll go down 2 or 3 times during the off season. He'll try and trap a couple lions, shoot a couple coyotes, just to bring the predator numbers down so the deer aren't as pressured. And he runs game cameras all year. And so in December, when he goes to check all his game cameras, if he has ranches that aren't producing, he moves hunters. Because it's like, okay, this ranch does not have the population to support that number of hunters this year. I'm going to move you somewhere else where there's more deer.
Sounds like that's how it should be done.
I would think so. Like, I think there's a market for the DIY guy. I'm not expecting a guided experience. I'm not expecting the same trophy class size. I'm not expecting the same density. But when you pay that much money to go to Mexico, you are like, listen, I hunted Arizona over the counter the week before, and I saw significantly more deer for my $350 over the counter tag in Arizona than I did for my $4,000, exclusive hunting ranch
Not to mention all the work to get
that
there.
I saw in Mexico.
Yeah.
Were there any people before you or after you? Was there any feedback on that?
Those ranches are only supposed to be hunted for deer once a year. So here's the other thing you don't know. Like, listen, the cartel is a thing. And other hunters and illegal hunting, spotlighting is a thing. So you also don't know that somebody didn't go nuke that ranch in December. The only way you would know that is if you showed up to check it, going back to my earlier point.
Yeah.
That I think that level of verification, if people are going to spend that much money to go down there, and that would be my advice to people. Like being an outfitter, people always know, what question should I ask? That would be my question to the next outfitter that I deal with in Mexico. What kind of off-season program are you running? And what kind of verification are you doing leading up to the season so that I know I'm going to a place where there's at least a moderate, density of deer? I'm going to have a chance at seeing something in that like 110 class.
The guy you're talking about, is he a Mexican?
No.
Well, not
Does he live here?
Yeah, he lives in a couple different spots, but primarily Arizona.
So this guy's like a middleman to a set of ranches?
That would be, he's been outfitting for a long time, but that would be the way that outfitting works is you are essentially middlemaning between the ranches and the hunters.
Okay, so he's selling hunts.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And he also has a guided operation. And here's the other reason I know ours was a bit of an anomaly, because when you go back to do all the stuff in reverse, you meet up with all the hunters you crossed the border with in the first place. So I went and met up with 25 hunters, and all the ranches are like bordering where yours were.
Yep.
And you talk to those other guys and it's like, oh, we were seeing $15, $20 a day. So it wasn't like there was some macro level event where it was just a shit year for deer.
Yeah.
It was like, as soon as you got off something happened on that ranch. I don't know if it was people over hunting it, which could have, that's the other thing. Like, they giving them X amount of tags per year. Can that ranch actually support killing that many deer every year? I don't know. Maybe because guys have been going there for 7 or 8 years and they're killing 5-6 deer a year. Maybe they just nuked the deer on the ranch. I don't know. Or maybe it was a grazing problem, but it was definitely a localized issue because we had guys to the north of us, guys to the south of us, guys to the west of us that all had, like, there was another ranch that was like, as the crow flies, I think was less than 20 miles from us, and they have a 110 minimum. Not allowed to shoot anything under 110. And 4 of the guys of the 5 tagged out. And the reason the 5th guy didn't is he was holding out for an absolute monster, like 130 and up.
But being that you're trying to do what the other guy's trying to do, you could essentially bypass the middleman and find your own ranch.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
And you kind of have that opportunity. You kind of got to go a couple times and you got to meet all those guys and kind of get your in.
Yeah, totally.
What sucks about that is some of that's a hunno lifetime for somebody to go down for $4,000, a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for dudes. And especially like, there's a lot of travel time. Like there's a big commitment. But yeah, I got a good buddy of mine, Bo Campbell, lives in Arizona, and you kind of need boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And so he's already been making phone calls since he got back. And I think the goal will be try and, even if we just do another small DIY option next year with like 5-6 dudes, we'll try and facilitate something, closer to the source than we did next time. So he can, it's only a 5 or 6 hour drive for him.
Mhm.
And if you're just going across to scout, you just drive across the border with some binos. There's no paperwork. There's no nothing. So he could literally just go across, scout the ranch out a couple times during the year and be like, yeah, we're golden, and have much more confidence in where you're going to show up to.
How hard? I mean, when you cross the border and you got your binos, and let's say you're out there glassing some land.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want to be the white boy over there on somebody's property looking for deer and shit. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work?
As long as you have an agreement with the ranch owner,
Okay.
and you're only traveling during daylight hours,
Yeah.
you're 100% fine.
Okay.
The last thing in the world, I saw cartel guys going up to a thing. The last thing in the world the cartel wants is bullshit. So it's like, as long as you don't go out of your way to be an idiot, you have nothing to worry about there. But yeah, I wouldn't just drive to Mexico and start glassing hills randomly looking
Like,
for
here's
deer.
the deer. Let me figure out whose ranch this is. And then I'm going to go talk to him about
And that's
hunting.
the problem. That's why the real competitive advantage in this industry is your connections and your relationships, because one ranch is going to lead you to another ranch. And I'm sure it's a difficult or challenging business to get into for that reason, because a lot of the good ranches are locked up. And so, Jay's been doing this for 30 years, and Jay produces a lot of very satisfied customers. And so, again, I don't think it was anything untoward on his behalf, just a bit of, shit luck, and maybe not as good preparation as could have been done. But yeah.
I guess every time we talk about Coues deer, I have 2 questions. What's a booner Coues deer?
So to get in the book is 100 inches. To get in the all-time book is 110. Typical. 120 non-typical.
Pope and Young,
I don't know off the top of my head.
And that's 106?
That's 106 inches right here.
Nice.
And I would say, like, I know to get in the book, you got to do 180-inch mule deer. I have a hard time saying 100-inch Coues is equivalent to 180-inch mule deer. I'd say it's more like 100 is like 170. Like, still very impressive, but that 110 is kind of like, if you can kill something bigger than 110, that is a legit, like, big-time Coues.
And is it Coues or cows deer?
If you ask Robbie Denning, he would say cows. He gave me some shit on my way down.
I'm the wordplay guy. Coues is definitely not cows. There's no
a
fucking
debate
W
about
in
that.
there.
So the guy's name was Coues.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounced his last name. It was written Coues.
Yeah.
But if you called him from across the street, you would have said, Mr. Cows, what are you doing?
It's like a funny little thing inside of their little. I've never hunted these. I've never even seen one alive, I don't think. And but it's always listen to their jargon.
Yeah.
Did you shoot one in Arizona?
No, I did not. So it was over the counter hunt. So it was archery hunting in Arizona.
Okay.
I got in one good stock, but it was a challenging hunt in Arizona as well. We saw more deer, but with archery, I'm also not a fan of hunting, except for elk. I don't like archery hunting animals in the rut, because it's like, I want something to stop in an advantageous location. And in the rut, that doesn't happen a whole lot. They run around all over the place. So that makes it real tough with I shot this guy while he was walking. All right. So
Yeah, it's a
that's
good video.
that's kind of what you got to be prepared to do in the rut, because they're very hard animals to spot. And when you do spot them, they can disappear in the blink of an eye. Like they go in and out of bush. We joke around that they build tunnels, just like the rest of the individuals in Mexico.
Tunnel rat.
Yeah. Because they'll go into a bush and they don't come out, and you think you can see everything around, and you sit there for the rest of the day, and like no deer ever shows up. So
Well, that's the thing. What did it go on the hoof, you think, that deer?
it was less than 100 pounds.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
man.
also smaller
Oh, dude,
than
it's the
fucking-
smallest, tiniest deer you've ever seen in
that's
your
cool.
life. That's the other thing. Like, so I shot that guy at 698 yards with Tika 6.5 PRC. And that's the other thing that's kind of impressive. Is like, it's not like shooting an elk at 700 yards.
Mm-mm.
Like, the kill box is significantly smaller on these animals.
And
than
he was on the
anything
move.
else. Yeah, and he was walking.
Huh.
Which in hindsight I've been thinking about this a lot, because I did the shoot to hunt course, and I'll give full credit to this kill, to that course. Like, I went back and watched the video, and there's 6 seconds. My first shot was so close that you can actually see where the hair was shaved off of his back when we went to process him. Mm-hmm. But I was high, and my second shot I took 6 seconds later, and I was able to do that on a moving animal at 700 yards. And I think the ability to do that, half of the ability to do that was from taking the course. The other half of the ability to do that is the fact that I've shot 2,000 rounds since the course. And I think that would be the point I would drive home with people, is like, if you're not shooting thousands of rounds every year, don't expect to go be lethal at big distance.
How do you expect to be world class if you never practice it?
Yep.
And I think that's what, if you ask most people before you went in the shoot the hunt course, I said, Jay, you're walking down the backpack. You're walking down trails, your backpack on, gun slung, and you see a Coues deer, you see whatever. And people will say, how long would you take to shoot that animal? People say, 20 seconds. And when tested, it's well over a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next shot, breaking the shot, racking the bolt, watching where the impact was, most people think, it's 2 to 3 seconds. Well, it's usually like 12 to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the shoot to hunt class kind of ingrained.
And then if it's a hard to spot animal that may have moved a little bit, it's a whole nother level harder.
Yeah, I think people have asked me, so I'm going to do Kalen's course in March.
Nice.
And people have been asking me like, why would you do a different one? And like, what did you like about the shoot to hunt course? And I was like, I think if I was just going to sum it up real quickly, the shoot to hunt course is going to increase your lethality, sub 600 yards, let's just put a number on it, from a variety of positions in stressful situations.
Which is most of hunting.
Now I'm at the point where it's like, I want to nerd out a little bit. I want to start hitting forage steel at 1,200 yards. I want to understand a little bit more of like the physics. And so that's where I think, and listen, I've been a proponent of the 600 to 1,000 course for shoot to hunt. The problem is we just don't have enough people who've done the 0 to 600 to actually put that course together. But I think those are two different skill sets. And I think that's what people have been getting confused in the long range training game for hunting for a while now.
Definitely.
Yes. And it's almost
very well described.
A different person. It's almost, you're not going to shoot as many rounds because every round counts past that 600 yards. So you're going to start dissecting what happened on that 800, 900, 1,200 yard shot.
Kalen told me to bring 300 rounds to modern day sniper. You guys told me to bring 1,200 rounds to shoot to hunt. And I also think people are putting the cart before the horse. They think if they go do that super scientific, analytical, long range course, that's going to increase their lethality sub 600. And I can tell you, being an outfitter and seeing a lot of people kill a lot of animals, that's not the case. Some of the best long range shooters are garbage snap shooters because it's almost two different.
It is.
The one goes against the other. Like, they're two very different skill sets.
It's totally, and people don't believe that.
Yeah.
And it is a thing.
Yeah.
Both are different skill sets.
100%.
It's also kind of it's like a line division to where an animal knows you're there and an animal doesn't know you're there. As some, an elk at 500 yards, if you're fucking moving around doing a bunch of shit, man, they will see you.
Yeah.
Even at 500 yards. Then it gets to the point where they don't know you're there, so you have longer to set up on a shot and whatever it is, but it's kind of a division between that, whether they know you're there or not.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm glad you're going to that because I think you're the guy that can articulate the differences. And there's a need for both.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Because, that was one of the reasons I did it, is that I want to be able to tell people, because sometimes people hit me up and I will ask them some questions. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you grew up in Minnesota, like, okay, my buddy Matty, who was talking to about earlier, who's going to buy that reamer, he grew up doing deer drives in Minnesota. This dude was born to kill. He does not crack. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I see an animal and I'm hunting with Matty, I'm like, that thing's dead. Yeah. Because he's shot stuff on the hoof. He's shot stuff running. He's had to shoot it standing, sitting, kneeling. Like, he grew up hunting like that. If Matty wanted to level up, I'd be like, go do something more analytical, because you do not need help shooting quickly under pressure. You've got that part dialed. Whereas the other 90% of people I talk to, they want to go do the cool splash and giggles and smash rocks at 1,200 yards. And I'm like, you do not need that. You need to know how to unpack your rifle and kill something 200 yards away in less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, and the hardest thing for us to sell somebody is you're not good enough for that other class yet.
Correct.
Because everybody thinks they're awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting back into your outfitting side. So people that never heard of Mindful Hunter.
Yeah.
I've known you first as a gear review guy.
Yep.
How did the outfitting side start up?
Yeah, this is a really interesting question. So I think, let me go back a little bit about why I started doing what I do. So I did one of my first backcountry deer hunts, and I was doing my MBA at the time. I was in my like kind of mid to late 30s, and I killed this deer in the backcountry. And I went into the MBA the next day full of all these. It was an executive MBA, so you had to be an executive of some kind for 10 years just to apply to this MBA. And it was a 2-year program at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver. And I went into that class the next day, and topic comes up. Oh, what did you do last weekend? And I'm telling people about these deer, and they're just like, gobsmacked. Like, what you did? What you hiked? Where you? And I realized I'm a fairly articulate guy, but I lacked the ability to communicate the intensity of the experience just through verbal communication.
Yeah, that's hard anyway. Such an emotional thing.
That's why when I come back from the backcountry and people, I was like, I don't even want to talk about my hunt because nothing that I tell you is going to be able to convey how intense that was to me. So let's not even bother. And that's when I decided to start filming stuff because I think I was like, if I can put together films, then it will be a more rich medium for me to convey the complexity and the richness of these experiences. And then I did that for a while. And then I realized there was a hole in the gear review industry because everybody was bought and paid for. I remember I started out watching Meat Eater, and Steve Ranella said, go buy the best class you can afford. It's Razor HDs from Vortex. So I went out and bought those. And then I was just shocked to learn that he just straight up lied. It's not even close to the best. And I realized when I was looking around the environment, I'm like, everybody's bought and paid for. Like literally everyone is being paid to tell you something about one of these products. I was very fortunate. I was at a point in my life where I didn't need a free pair of binoculars. I was making good money. I loved hunting. So I started doing gear reviews. And before I got into hunting, I was a forestry engineer for 15 years. And so I literally spent 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, hiking through the mountains in British Columbia, looking for timber to set up cutting blocks for logging companies. And so I'd spent a vast majority of my life in the mountains. And then all of this is kind of coming together to say that I realized everything that I was putting out, all of the content, finding backcountry hunting changed me as a man. So I've told this story before, but I'm a recovering junkie. I'm 17 years sober now. Started shooting heroin and cocaine when I was 15 years old. Stories out there if anybody gives a shit. When I first got sober, I was lost for a while. Like I didn't know how to be a man and I didn't know how to be okay with the world. And when I found backcountry hunting, it was like finding the piece of myself. Like I felt more myself out there than I did anywhere else in my life.
Did you hunt growing up at all?
A little bit. I did 2 moose hunts with my old man and that side of the family. And then we had a falling out and didn't kind of talk to that side of the family for almost 10 years. And it's funny you bring that up because I think everything after that was an overcompensation on my part because I never got that approval into manhood. Like I never had my dad give me that, like even that unspoken, you're a man now moment. So like all of my 20s and early 30s was me living in logging camps and like doing these crazy adventures and doing all this shit to like prove to myself that I was a man because nobody else had given me that permission or the approval, that rite of passage. And because of those 2 hunts, I think when I found backcountry hunting, it was like, I don't know if I was trying to prove something to myself or them or what it was, but then I was out of it for years and then found it again in my early 30s. And it changed who I was as a person. And I was like, and so when I started making content and even with the gear reviews, all of it has been in some kind of effort for me to help other men. And chicks are fine too, don't get me wrong. But like I'm a man and there's enough women supporting women. So like most of what I do is for men. And I wanted to help them find the same thing I did. Because you guys know being in the industry, there's this huge proponent of these late onset adult hunters that did not grow up hunting. They see the YouTube videos. They want to go into the backcountry. That is a very daunting experience. And so I wanted to make content. I wanted to do gear reviews. I wanted to help them make decisions. And so it was almost like the next logical step, because I saw these other guys doing seminars and like the summits and like the weekend long things, but none of them were actually hunting. And I was like, well, you're kind of missing out on a fairly significant portion. So then when I had the opportunity to get into the outfitting business, I was like, this could be the final missing piece of the puzzle. Because I think there's a new guided client that exists now. If you go back 20 years, there was like guys who went on guided hunts and guys who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And there was certain financial barriers that like certain dudes who made certain kind of money and lived on certain coasts went on guided hunts. And then other guys who made different amounts of money and lived on the other coast did not. And I think now you have these dudes in their late 30s, early 40s. They have disposable income. They want to be a Billy Badass in the mountain. And they're looking for ways to shortcut the learning curve. And so they go book these guided hunts. And I know that because that's what I did.
Mm.
But then you go on the guided hunts and you realize none of these guides are set up to train anybody to do anything. And I want to be very clear right now, nor should they. It's not their job. Their job as a guide is to keep you safe and try and help you kill something. Their job is not to be an educator or to train you in anything. But I realized there's a hole in, just like with Forged, where's the hole in the market? What can I develop that's unique that will fit that hole? And that new hybrid guided client that wants to be a Billy Badass in the mountains, but he doesn't want you to solve all of his problems. He kind of just wants a bit of a safety net. But he wants to go out in the backcountry. He wants to have a hunting experience, and he wants an opportunity to learn those things. Dude, I had a guy last year. He's killed stuff. He'd never been able to go out and actually successfully sleep out in the mountains alone. Most people would be shocked how many dudes this is a problem for.
Far more than I ever knew.
Bro, the amount of emails that I get and texts.
There's nothing wrong with that either, because that is not the world that we have grown up in.
It's terrifying.
It's any other fear. You have to fucking talk about it to overcome.
It is fucking terrifying.
So
You're right.
this guy who booked a hunt, he said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I just need to get over this hump. And I was like, okay, done. We're going to go on a bear hunt. We're going to go out. I'm going to send you some KMLs. You're going to do some e-scouting. We're going to pick where we're going to go. We're going to hike in there and we're going to spend a couple nights.
And you're going to sleep where the bears sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he did that. And like 3 months after the hunt, I get this inReach message from him the next morning. Just did my first solo overnight. And it's like, he just needed a little help, man, to get over the hump.
Yeah.
I got a real quick story.
Yeah.
I have a good friend of mine, grew up, high level athlete, played practice squad NFL. Giant man.
Yeah.
We're hiking. Never been hunting with him before. We went elk hunting. We're hiking out and it's cracking, just like twilight, getting dark. And he's right on my ass. And I'm like, well, okay. And he steps on my hill. I'm like, no. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm scared of the dark.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker is Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Like he is probably 6'8", 340. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Do you want to get in front? Do you want me to get in the back? What do you want to do? He goes, well, I just want you to turn your headlamp on.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I don't
Easy fix.
knock the guy.
Well, once you get used to it, you like conserve your headlamp. You're like, even to the last little second of light, you're like, I don't need my headlamp yet. We're good.
I try to never use it if I can.
Yeah.
That's like me asking for directions. I probably should when I'm not. You know what I mean?
But I never thought about it to then. This is a fucking stud of a human scared of the dark.
It's primal shit,
dark.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always been scared of the dark somewhat too, and I'm a late age onset hunter. That whole situation, but I think that the only reason I took my son from the very first hunt on, so it was like I had to be the man for my son.
Yeah,
even though
fake it till you make it,
dude. Even though I was fucking scared, I was scared to death about what's going on. Like I'm up all night. I learned to put earplugs and shit in now, but you're up all night. Every fucking twig breaks, branch drops, fucking leaf falls.
Dude,
you're like, what the fuck is that?
It's a fucking.
What do I got to do?
I was 15 years old. First backpack solo I ever did. I was up for 2 straight fucking days. Everything was going to get me. So it's like, it's not a thing. Yeah. It's not just for you. You're not this guy. Everybody's somewhat scared.
I think you get to the age and then you kill enough bears and see how bears act where you're like, come get me, motherfucker. I'm going to shoot you in my tent so I don't got to kill you tomorrow. Yeah.
It is.
You spend enough nights and it's like, it's a fucking raccoon or it's a what are those little bastards we got them at? Not, maybe it's the porcupines I'm thinking of. But yeah,
I make up names for shit that don't exist.
Nothing is coming to kill me tonight. Like you just,
dude, and you get so used to, like, I was asleep one time. I thought I was a squirrel, and I look over, and there's a fucking black bear looking at my tent. And I was like, not today, bitch. And he just whipped around and ran away. And that didn't even bring my blood pressure up. So, and I'm not cool. People are scared of driving before they drive. You're scared of going to school your first day of school. Why would you not be scared in the middle of nowhere in the dark?
I do know what Ryan is scared of in the dark.
What's that?
Pack rats.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hate pack rats. Not because I'm scared of them. They fucking took my socks. And I'm like, I don't pack a lot of extras.
And I'd never seen a pack rat in my life. So he comes in the tent. He comes in our tent in the middle of the night looking for our little 22 to kill the pack rat, right? So he's he's in his underwear with his fucking headlamp on. And he's in our tent. And I took like 3 Benadryl so I could fucking sleep, dude. So I'm like, I'm groggy as I don't know what's going on. So we're looking. We can't find the 22. He goes away. Well, it was like the next evening or like the next evening. The pack rat is up on this boulder with his sock. No. And I had never seen a pack rat, right? So it's a big motherfucker with a giant tail on it.
Yeah. I don't pack lots of extras. 1 pair of underwear, 2 pairs of socks. It's valuable.
Yeah.
The little fucker came in my tent. I heard him.
Oh my God.
He had the 22 pistol. I'd have smoked him there, but we never got the pack rat.
That's funny shit right there.
Anyways, continue on, sir.
I have one question.
Please.
At what point, not having had the manhood kind of approval like you were talking about, this is important to me.
I gotta piss.
Do you think that you can narrow that down to an event or a time in your life where you no longer needed that? Or you think like you have finally told yourself that I'm now a man. I don't need somebody else's approval to understand that I'm a man. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
I think if we're going to be like 100% honest, it's like a sliding scale. There's days I still don't have it 100%. But again, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and it's more like I will just behave like that even on days. Like I'm 47 years old right now. I know when I was a kid looking at my 47-year-old dad, I would have thought he felt differently about life than I do at 47. Like I feel like I've got shit pretty dialed the last little bit. That is a very interesting question. Because I do feel like it is gone now. I don't. You know, it's funny. We haven't even talked about the fact that I have no sponsors, no anything. And I think the reason the whole industry is geared towards sponsorship is that's validation for those men. They think if this brand puts their stamp of approval on me, that means that I'm good at what I do. And I think the reason, I'll tell you right now what it was. It was recovery. Yeah,
so
getting sober.
Getting through and getting sober.
And the second time. So I sobered up for the first time when I was 23 years old. I got sober for 4 years, and then I went back out for 3 years. And then I got sober the second time, August 23rd, 2008. And that time when I got sober, I did a 12-step program. Like if people think I'm obsessive about hunting, it was like that about recovery. Like I was like a pit bull. And I was like, I am going to get better or I'm going to fucking off myself. Like there's no in the middle for this. And when I went through a thorough set of steps with a sponsor, when I came out the other end of that, I felt okay about who I was. I still doubted myself. I still had days where, I wasn't super confident, but I no longer needed anyone else's approval. And I think when it comes to the gear reviews and the not sponsors and building what I've built, I think the reason I've been able to do that is that I honestly and sincerely do not seek the approval of anyone else. Maybe except my wife and my daughter. But it's like if other people don't believe in what I'm doing, I could not give a shit because I have that internally now.
Yeah.
But I do think, if I had to narrow it down, it was that second round of recovery.
Hi, I'm Brent Jarbo, CEO of ADG. For the past decade, we've been dedicated to crafting the highest quality, 100% American-made rifle brass to meet all your hunting and long-range shooting needs. This year, we're excited to introduce our new 6.8 Western and 270 WSM cases. With over 250 years of combined industry experience, we're committed to excellence. Look for our distinct orange boxes wherever you buy your reloading supplies. Whenever you need quality rifle cartridge cases, choose ADG Premium Rifle Brass, where precision meets performance.
I think that it makes you that type of stronger in the end too.
I would agree. Yeah.
That it may have been different. I ask myself now because my dad was around until I was 18.
Okay.
And then, you leave the house and then, you know, there's not really a relationship, whatever. But I ask myself now, I have a son who's 16. And then I asked that. It was really interesting you brought that whole situation up. So I asked myself, what do I do, and at what point do I do it so that he doesn't feel the way that I feel?
Yeah.
And I almost think to myself, is it maybe every dad is supposed to be hard in that way,
Right.
to harden their son. Like I ask myself, will he be more hardened if I don't comfort him or tell him that he's finally made it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
See, so what I struggle with is my daughter. So I grew up rough, like not good, like extreme poverty. There was physical abuse, sexual abuse, substance abuse. Like it was bad. But it made me who I am. Like I wouldn't be, like people ask me how I go in the backcountry for 12 days by myself. I'm like, dude, it's like a fucking vacation. Are you kidding me? One of the easiest things I've ever done compared to how I grew up and what I had to do to get sober. What I worry about with my daughter is like, how is she going to get that strength of character? Like, what can I do as a man? Obviously, I don't want her to grow up the way I grew up. Like, I shouldn't even be alive. I had a needle in my arm at 15 years old. I don't want that for her. But I need to find safe ways or safer ways to expose her to the type of struggle that builds character. Like, I firmly believe self-esteem is rooted through accomplishing things you did not think you were capable of. The only way that happens is when you remove choice. I didn't think I could get sober, but it was either get sober or die. There was no choice. So your back is, and that's why I think backcountry hunting is the perfect vehicle to transition and to learn more about yourself because you're removing choice. Like when you hike 10 miles in and you set your tent up, you do not think you were capable of getting through that first night. Well, guess what? You got no choice now, motherfucker, because it's too late to hike back. So when choice is removed, you find out if you're up to the task or you're not. And when you're able to accomplish those things that you did not think you were capable of, you get on the other side of that and you look back and you're like, well, fuck me, man. If I didn't think I was capable of that and I can do it, what other lies am I telling myself about my capabilities? And I think I finally came to the conclusion that it's all fucking lies. It's like that Neo moment, man, when it's like you're in fucking slow-mo and Agent Smith is going like this and you realize the whole world, all of it is an illusion. Like you can do anything you fucking want. The only thing that is stopping you is like your own belief in yourself. And that's why if I ever experience any friction with the hunting industry or people in it, it's because I never ask permission for anything that I do. I came at this from a very non-traditional angle. But the reason I've been able to build what I've been able to build is because I didn't need to ask for anybody's permission. And I wasn't looking for somebody to be a gatekeeper and say, okay, you are good enough to go do that now. I just did whatever the fuck I wanted because I knew I would be able to figure it out and do it and to bring it back to hunting. And that's why I take my kid on a 10-mile hike or put her in a situation where she thinks she can't do something and then just keep that like transparent safety net that she doesn't really know about. So when she comes out on the other side of it, she gets that like little boost. She's just learning how to play basketball. And I took her to we practice at this basketball court around my house and she gets so fucking mad at me. She's like a tiny version of me, much better looking, obviously. And I was grinding her hard about like, shoot, I'm tired. Don't care, shoot. I left on this trip. She hadn't scored a basket in a game yet. And the first trip after all our practice sessions, she scored 2 baskets and a 3rd basket from the 3-point line. And it was like, I know for her, she just had that aha moment. Oh, holy shit.
My dad was right. I can do it.
Yeah. And it's like, I can do more than I'm capable of. And when you pair that with like hard work and preparation and training, there's no limit to what you can do. And that's the freedom. You know what I mean? Then you realize, yeah, sky's the limit.
I missed part of that, but I think the hit on that, done a lot of reviews, a lot of criticism, and we all have an internal dialogue, whether we realize it or not. And then if you ask yourself, is that internal dialogue negative or positive? Most people would say it's negative dialogue back to themselves.
Yep.
And I don't know where I got this from. I'd like to give it credit, but he's like, you know what? Why you're not doing that is because your negative dialogue listens to those critics, and those critics matter more than what you think.
Yes.
And as soon as that clicked in my brain, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to do and say what I want.
Yep.
Let the cards fall where they may and fuck the critics. And I think that, to me, that aha moment to me was, You got to have. You can't continue to have this negative dialogue because of critics that don't know you, don't give a shit about you. And tomorrow, if you died, they wouldn't give a fuck if you died or lived.
Yeah.
And move on. And since then, as Jake can attest, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Because in 2 generations, no one knows who the fuck you were.
Nope.
No.
Somebody else is living in your house.
And I tell my daughter all the time, because we'll go someplace and she'll have social anxiety or she'll worry about what she's wearing. And I'll be like, trust me right now, nobody in this room gives a fuck about you. And I know that might not feel
They're all
great.
too worried about themselves.
In their own head about, and this reminds me of a little story. So I first started Mindful Hunter, just making content and films and stuff. And then I started my consulting agency and I stopped Mindful Hunter because I just didn't have enough bandwidth. And then a couple years later, me and my wife we don't do New Year's resolutions. We do New Year's goals. And we do personal, family, and business. We write 3 lines on a piece of paper and we sit down together. It's like, okay, what are your goals? What are my goals? What are our goals for our family? And what are our goals for both of our businesses? And I've always been a creative person. I was a DJ for 10 years, a videographer. I did all this weird shit.
That, dude.
Oh yeah, buddy. Big festivals, the whole 9 yards. And when I was running my consulting agency, I didn't have any creative outlet. And I said to her, I'd like to start making some content again. But when I first started it, I started the way everybody else did, tagging brands and hoping for a sponsorship because that was the roadmap. I thought that's what you were supposed to do when you made content. And I said to her, but I don't want to do this for anybody else. And she's like, okay, then we make a rule. You make content, any kind of content you want. The only rule is that you have to want to make it. And you can't give a shit what anybody else thinks about it. So when I fired Mindful Hunter back up, that was the only North Star that I had. And the nice part about that is...
You shut it down for a while?
Like, I just didn't do anything for like 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came out of the gate, started building Instagram, filming hunts, and then basically took a 2-year hiatus. Okay. And then came back. And the byproduct of that was the only people... Okay, can you remember back when you were dating? You go on a date with a chick and you would think to yourself, what kind of guy is this chick looking for? And then you kind of try and be that guy a little bit because we want to be liked. But a more successful way to do it is just be as you as you can possibly be. And then you will weed out the chicks that don't vibe with you because they're eventually going to find out what your particular brand of asshole is. So it's like, let's just get there as quickly as possible. So that's what I did with Mindful Hunter. I am going to be as me as I can possibly be. And you're either going to vibe with me and you're going to enjoy this content and you're going to come on this journey, or you're going to think I'm an asshole and you're not going to watch it. But the beautiful thing now is that I never have to think, what does my audience want? Or what kind of content am I supposed to create? Or what kind of product am I supposed to build next? All I got to think is like, what am I authentically driven to do? And if I just keep doing that, it vibes with those people that it always has and always most likely will continue to be.
That's also how you got here in this room.
100%.
I don't think you would have vibed with us if you were that other kind of guy.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to like expand upon that because at first breath, we had a problem.
Yes.
But I should say you talked to Robbie.
I did.
And I was talking through Robbie and men, because this doesn't happen a lot in this industry.
Yeah.
We don't talk to each other. And then this shit happens and it festers because nobody's talking about the problem.
Yep.
Once we talked, we were all on the same page. We were fine.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
and we actually realized we were even more aligned than we thought we were.
correct.
Yeah. But I do think there's unnecessary conflict all the time.
Talking about
in the industry.
authenticity.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Well-
you're still on your journey almost of getting to where you are with your outfitting business.
Right. So when I was first given the opportunity to start outfitting, like first I got asked to guide, and then I realized through guiding, I was like, oh, I actually experience almost more satisfaction at helping other people kill shit. Like, A, it's harder to help somebody else kill something than to kill it yourself because you got to worry about other people screwing up. But I also realized for everything that I do, for the gear reviews, for the content, I was like, listen, I don't want to kill 20 animals a year. I think it's ridiculous that these guys go out and kill 5 elk in September just to make 5 elk films in September. Like, it's unnecessary. I believe it's unethical. But I was like, well, shit, if I'm guiding, I can kill as many animals as I want because I'm with these guys that are only killing 1 or 2 a year. I get to see terminal ballistics on guns. I get to test knives on caping. I get to test boots on all the hunts. And like everything I do, I just get an exponential greater opportunity to do all of it. And then the opportunity to do outfitting came up. And then I realized I can craft an environment where not only do I get to go out on these cool hunts with people, but I can help guys real time build this like skill set for backcountry hunting. And so that was the original impetus for Mindful Hunter outfitting and why I got into it. And then it just like 2025 was the year for me. Like there's just no other way to put it. 2023 and 2024 were the two hardest years I've had since I got sober. I decided to quit my consulting agency. I decided to go full-time into Mindful Hunter. I had X amount of money left in the bank. I had a burn rate of Y each month. And by the end of 2024, shit was getting real. Like it was like, okay, you might need to go put a suit and tie back on and go start handing out resumes. Like it was getting bad. But I was just obsessively driven to like make Mindful Hunter work. And I knew if I could just survive long enough to like make enough content and go on enough hunts and like sell enough hunts throughout, like eventually it would just click. And then 2025 was really the year I launched Mindful Hunter outfitting, and like everything finally just came together. And it was like, yeah, last year was the year of years as far as I'm concerned.
We had a call. I was at the expo and I said, you're right on the cusp of exploding, bro.
Yeah.
There's always a pivot point.
There is. I was like, you're right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
I 100%.
Yeah.
I bought my 6.5 PRC because of that conversation.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, you're there, dude. This will be great. Going forward, you're going to explode.
Yeah.
And I truly believed it.
Yeah. And so, so that's where Mindful Hunter outfitting came from. And last year I had 12 clients. We killed 11 animals. And so far this year, I've got 32 clients booked. Not really hoping to grow like any significantly faster moving forward, because I'm trying to keep that like bespoke custom experience kind of available.
Mm-hmm.
I will take the opportunity to do like shameless plug. I think I've got 3 spots left for Spring Bear. Oh no, that group canceled on me. I have 6 spots left for Spring Bear, and I have 2 spots left. So I have 2 different operations. I own a concession in British Columbia, and I own tags in Alberta. So I've got 2 archery mule deer hunts in Alberta, and I've got 6 spots for spring bear hunters. I want to do something else special for the Shoot to Hunt crew, because I really do feel like Shoot to Hunt and Mindful Hunter and Unknown Munitions are deeply aligned on all kinds of fronts. So here's what we're going to do. If anybody from the podcast wants to book a hunt for this year, I'm going to knock $500. Just say you heard it on the Shoot to Hunt podcast. I'm going to knock $500 off per person. And if 2 buddies book together, just because you make my life infinitely easier because you already show up in a pair, I'm going to knock off an extra $250.
Nice.
So $750 per person if you book in a pair, $500 per person if you book by yourself. And you can hit me up at jay@mindfulhunter.com. Spring bear hunts go from the last week of April to the second week of June. And my mule deer season is basically like mid-October to mid-November.
Okay. And these are not Idaho black bears, huh?
No. The biggest book bear we took last year was 7 foot squared with a 19-inch skull and made BC book.
And I'd imagine there's quite a few bears. Like this is not. What's your success rate?
100% opportunity.
There you go. So
we had 6 bear
gonna
clients
kill a
last year
bear.
and 5 dead bears, and the person who didn't kill one missed.
You have any stick bow hunters yet?
No stick bow hunters.
They're always fun.
Yeah, I have archery hunters until day 3. That's what I have.
So they can upgrade.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's where your success rate comes in.
Yeah.
You want to kill something, pick up a rifle.
And we are in the mountains. Like the nice thing is too, my area is only 3 hours from Vancouver. So you just fly or drive to Vancouver. I take care of everything from there. And we are in like hardcore mountains. The other thing I outfit for that I should mention is goat. Goat is sold out from now until 2029. So don't bother calling me for goat hunts because I only have 2 per year. Cody Rich came up and killed a goat last year. Stone Glacier filmed it. I have no idea when it's going to come out. Hopefully by this summer. But it was rugged. Like my goat area is up on the other side of a glacier. So you got to cross 2 lakes. I've got like canoes stashed in the bush. Then you climb up 4,000 feet. Then you climb across the glacier, you go up another face, and then you're
Good
in
Lord.
the shit. It's like Mordor.
Not for me.
Oh, it's
I'm in for 29.
yeah.
I'm in for 29.
Ryan, you've heard it here, so I can pin him back to it.
Yes, I
Man,
want
that's
to
going to be
shoot
what?
a goat.
You're going to be quite old by then.
I'll be 50.
Did you hear what that route was like?
I'll be fine.
Oh, you can make
I'll
it.
just
There-
hook onto
hey,
Jay and he
you
can drag
can't bring your mules.
We're just gonna up the gear a little bit. He'll
Can't
be
bring
all
the
right.
mules to Canada.
Yeah.
That'll work. We'll get some pills for you.
I know the guys.
That's right.
You do.
I always call Jay. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Like, send it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There you
So,
go.
spinning off of that, we're going to probably have a good value for Canadian hunters. Another option.
We
if you
haven't
will.
had a good solution for too long. So instead of just waiting for somebody else to solve the problem, we figured we'd solve it ourselves.
You guys want to go into more details?
Are we talking about the alliance?
Yes.
We are.
Okay.
I think it's only fair that probably the biggest question I get asked every other day is, can I get this widget
X.
in Canada?
Yeah.
And we have a solution.
What do you think? Do you have any hard numbers? So, for example, in the U.S., I think they have some numbers about how many hunters there are in the country. Now we've already established that there's a much smaller population in Canada, something like 10% of the U.S. But how much of that 10% or how much of your number do you think are hunters?
It wouldn't surprise me if we have, like, I feel like BC is skewed. BC would be like your Idaho or something. Like, there's going to be a higher percentage of hunters in there, but I think the number in North America is 5% that they normally toss around.
Is that about right?
5% of North America.
That's what I've heard. 5 to
hunts.
7%.
Yeah, and I think that would hold true, if not maybe be a little bit higher in Canada.
What
is
We have a lot more rural areas. We don't have a whole lot of like urban.
We never talked about this, but can you, in being in BC, sell to all the other provinces?
100%, no problem.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah. Now I can't hunt the other provinces.
So weird.
It's so weird, retarded even. You can in some of them with hosts. So if you fill out some paperwork, you can go hunt with a resident. But I cannot just drive to Alberta, even though I'm an outfitter in Alberta. I still can't drive to Alberta and just go hunt.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, people are always like, "Why do you go to the state?" Like, there's like these Canadian haters that think hunting outside of Canada is somehow shitting on Canada. And they're like, "Why do you go to the States to hunt?" I'm like, "'Cause I can." Like, I'd go to Alberta to hunt if I could too. It's an adventure. It's fun. It's someplace different. It's
Yeah.
a different tag. It's a new experience. Like, yeah, I don't know why you'd want to rob yourself
No kidding.
of that. That was the other thing about the outfitting. I wanted to show BC to people. Like, I wanted to figure out a way to have more Americans come up and hunt. And I'm like, I am not an ultra premium hunting outfit. I don't sell $30,000 moose hunts. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I was going
my
to say
hunts are $5-6 grand.
I was
Like,
gonna
they're
ask you
other than-
earlier-
except for the goat.
why you don't hunt moose, and I guess now I know it's because of the area.
Yeah, so the way things work in British Columbia is that you buy a concession. And when you own a concession, you have exclusive guiding rights to all the animals in that concession.
Mhm.
My concession is 1,000 square miles. It's huge.
That's big.
So for over-the-counter animals, bear, mule deer, lynx, bobcat, cougar, wolf, I can just sell tags. No problem. I have no quotas. It's up to me to responsibly manage my area. And then for quoted animals like goat, I get 8 tags every 5 years. And that means 8 dead animals. So
There's no bighorns in there?
no bighorns.
No
So-
shit.
And no thin horns. No sheep of any kind in my area.
So if you go on a goat hunt and they don't kill a goat, you don't have to use a tag for that hunt.
Correct.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, things are different in Alberta. So the way things work in Alberta is you buy tags. So I own 4 mule deer tags and 2 whitetail tags in a specific unit. And I own those in perpetuity. So every year I just get 6 tags. And those 6 tags are sold per hunt. So I can have 6 hunters come, or I could have, more likely, I can have 4 mule deer hunters, and 2 of those guys can also buy a whitetail tag. But once that hunter signs his name on that tag, it's dead if he kills or not.
Mm.
Is there any effort, like as an outfitter part of killing wolves?
Yeah, we work on wolves in our territory. Yeah. And my outfitting partner, the guy that I bought the area off, he has dogs and he does lions. I have a pretty good lion population in my area. I'm actually going lion hunting when I get home from this trip. So, and he thinks my area, which he used to own, and he still owns 25% of it because he does some spring bear hunting out of there, can healthily support probably taking 5-6 lions out of there every year.
Imagine.
It's the problem is it's so rugged. There's areas you just can't go with the dogs
Mm.
because you'll just never get them back.
I've had a lot of people come up and hunt with me in North Idaho, and you're just getting started in this journey, but you like go, here's brush, and here's more brush, and here's more brush. They're bitching about how thick it is.
Oh, lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people are like, how are we? Normally, so we drive out of Vancouver and it's about an hour and a half to get to Hope. And once you get to Hope, you're in the Fraser Canyon and it's like the walls go like this, the sun closes out because you're like in the fucking mountains.
Yeah.
And it's just timber right to the tits. And they'll look at it
the tits.
and they're like, where are we supposed to hunt? And I'm like, oh, you're looking at it, motherfucker. Like, that's the shit we're hunting. You know, we might drive another hour and a half from here, but that's where we're hunting.
But it's also the reason you have we have such great opportunity.
Yes.
It's because it is so fucking thick. It's hard to kill animals.
Yeah, they can give out lots of tags. And that's what I like to explain to people about BC. We have a lot of opportunity. We don't have a lot of density. Animals do not do well in undisturbed wilderness.
Nope.
They need edge habitat. That's why logging is really great for animals. Even urban kind of sprawl can be really great for animals, depending on how it takes. And when you go to places like Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, and you see all these meadows and parks and like, it's like, that's why they have the density of elk in Colorado that they have, is because it's not like when you go up to like the Muskwa-Kachika wilderness in British Columbia, you could be looking at a couple 100 miles. There's not a single road. There's no development of any kind. I've gone on a sheep hunt where for 10 or 12 days, you might literally see like 2 or 3 living animals.
Really?
Like just, it does not produce dense animal populations. So we have a lot of over-the-counter tags. We have a lot of opportunities, but you just do not have the same level of animal encounters that you do down here. Like just because we just don't have the density.
Which there's still some guys that go on public land here and still never see something living.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's something to say. Then how you know,
and fires help with fucking
big time. But the best mule deer kind of country that you can find is like 4 to 5 year old fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, to spin it back onto the task at hand, boys.
Right.
What is the goal with? I don't know what you want to call it.
You should go here.
I think the goal would be giving Canadians access to all the innovation that has been created under the unknown umbrella without some type of exorbitant price gouging. So there's so many good products coming out down here, and maybe I'll add some more to the roster later on, but if we keep it under the unknown umbrella, like rings and brakes and, even custom rifles moving into the future, what you guys have done with the rock stock, what's coming online with the scope. It's like, and just because there's some arbitrary line between where you guys live and where I live, people either need to do shady stuff to get stuff into the country, or most people who have distributed American products put like these insane margins on top of them. And then it's like, well, now I don't want to buy the product if it's going to cost twice what it normally costs, because then that wasn't the point in the first place. So yeah, the goal would be to give Canadians unfettered access to the entire product catalog of the family of companies that's kind of coming together under Unknown. Anything else you'd add to that?
That sounds perfect. I'm sure there's plenty of Canadians listening right now that should be very excited.
Yeah.
Jay Nichols with Mindful Hunter will be our first, what I would call kind of a sister business. They'll be allocated product and so on, and we've already kind of come to some contract terms. This is going to take a little bit to get off the ground.
Yeah.
I would probably say, 6 months for standard products?
I would think so.
So about 6 months until you guys see the standard products there in the country, but it's going to be an exclusive relationship, and I think only good can come out of it.
Yeah.
Jay very much aligns with, as you guys can hear from him, he aligns with everything we believe in at Shoot to Hunt and Unknown, and Ryan and Rockslide are on board. Everybody's going to love what's going on, and I think that the other benefits, like we just mentioned, you just launched your socks here, basically, the first time you talked about them, and there are some struggles with tariffs and cross-border type of shit.
Yep.
So I think, mirroring what you're going to do up there, we can do some things down here to help American customers get your products from Canada also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, lots of awesome things to come. This will be the first time that we've technically talked about this. So basically Canadians, just give it a little bit of time, but you guys are going to have a reliable source for products here pretty soon.
And from somebody who believes in the same ethos as Unknown, like, we're going to take care of you. Like that would be the other thing that I would worry about other distributors is that they might not feel the same way about the brands that they represent or give it the same level of like care and due diligence. So you can have a supreme level of confidence that you're going to get taken care of in Canada the same way you would get taken care of if you were down in the States.
Very important.
Yeah.
I'm just excited that when I get an email or a text or a PM saying, "What about Canada?" I can just say,
Canadians are almost as bad as lefties.
Yeah.
Every time you
left-handers.
launch a new product, even if it's not handed, they want to know, is there one for lefties?
Yeah. And I'll throw this out to the audience right now. So right now, the number one name for the new business is Mindful Munitions. I threw out Mindful Hunter Munitions, and both Ryan and Jake thinks it's too much of a mouthful. And after hearing some other ideas, I agree. But I will say this, if somebody can come up with a better name that still aligns with my brand, maybe Mindful Munitions is the best. I actually like it a lot. But if for some reason you think you can come up with a better one and you DM me with it, maybe I'll put together a little prize pack or something like
Swag
that.
bag.
Or let me know if you just like that. Like when you hear Mindful Munitions, does that communicate what the brand's goal is? And it's not just going to necessarily be restricted to firearms moving into the future.
Or restricted to unknown either. I think that's clear too.
Right. And I will say to the Canadians, I hear you on the struggle getting backpacks, on the struggle getting shelters. And now that I am creating a solution to get commercial product across the border and sell it at a reasonable rate in Canada, we will look at bringing some of your other favorite brands that I would say live in the same ethos that we do and believe in the same things and like the same level of hunting and caring about people and customer service and that kind of stuff. But I like the kind of vibe of Mindful Munitions and if I didn't already own an outfitting company, I think Mindful Outfitting would be good, but unfortunately that's already taken with the actual outfitting.
Yeah, but it stays in your kind of ethos too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your business is still kind of remains. I don't know if you're going to, I have multiple businesses under my name that I've separated for different reasons, but if they do remain separate, then the whole idea of mindful across the board is, I think that's a good idea.
I like it.
The kind of the crux of this is I had no idea there wasn't the Outdoorsman's or Euro Optics of Canada. There's really no huge online retailer that carries all this stuff.
No,
I didn't know.
no, not for that stuff. Like we said, like I said earlier, there's some big box stores that carry a lot of brands, but again, maybe just because of the population density and the problems in getting things across the border, I don't know.
And you do also plan to at some point offer custom ammo?
100%. Yeah. So, and that was the other, when I originally had the idea, what occurred to me is like, why is there not an Unknown Munitions in Canada? And then I was like, well, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? You know what I mean? When Unknown Munitions has done such a good job of kind of perfecting that load development process for people. And when you get to a certain level of like passion about what you're doing, like you said earlier, that's kind of what everything we do is about, is upgrading. And if you're going to put a new stock on your rifle, you're going to eventually end up putting some kind of hand-loaded bullet in your rifle as well. And so it's probably more like a year out for me to clear all the regulatory stuff, but there will be definitely custom load development stuff coming out of this camp as well, available in Canada.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. You guys want to add into it? Do you want to parting shots? Where do they stock you? What do you got going on in the near future?
Yeah, you said, what's the name of the business they get these from?
Forged in the Backcountry. I'm fully stocked right now with boxers. I haven't officially launched the Camo ones, but I do have some. So if you want to send me a DM and place an order for black ones, I'm happy to swap you out some Camo ones in there. The Camo will launch May 1st. The socks will launch May 1st. The next big giveaway will launch the same time. Like I said, there's a couple spots left for this year. So if you want to come on a guided hunt in BC, it's jay@mindfulhunter.com. Instagram, mindful_hunter. YouTube is Mindful Hunter. All that good stuff. I do have a subscription-based website where we talk about gear and all that kind of stuff. That's mindful-reviews.com. And I think the last collab we should probably hit on, because I'm going to put your guys' feet to the fire right now to get the fucking sign-up page built and available online, is let's talk a little bit about HaHa.
Okay, to our credit, Jake is usually Johnny on the spot with this. But man, getting 10 motherfuckers to have busy ass schedules to all align for classes, I can't say there's an excuse, but that's what I'm pointing at.
Okay. But it's also that was your part of the job.
Oh, they
is
jockey.
the
The only
coordination.
guy that's been good, well, two, Jay and Zach have been fine. It's the other squirrels
Yes.
getting them all aligned.
Yes. So first I gotta get Ryan aligned, and then he has to get all these guys aligned.
I can ask.
And then we have to do some marketing material. So we are trying to. So today is Monday, February 2nd. This will probably come out tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So when you guys listen to this, by the end of this week, we should have everything up on the website for the event.
And
That's
I'm
the
coming
purchase.
down and I'm going to do a thing on how to optimize your backcountry gear setup.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of other, I'm actually trying to figure out, half the reason I want the schedule to go up is so I can figure out which ones I get to go to, because I'm even excited about going to the rest of the classes. It's going to be an awesome, and again, I've just kind of came to this revelation earlier this year that I made two major mistakes when I got into hunting. Number one, I hunted too much different shit in too many different places for too long. I should have just picked a couple complementary species like black bear and mule deer and just focused on those at home for the first 3 or 4 years, because then you can transfer all those skills into other animals. But I was like, let's go up north and do a sheep hunt. Let's go to New Mexico and do an elk hunt. Let's go over here and do a goat hunt. And it was like, it retards your learning process trying to do so many different things at once. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two is that I did not join a community or look for a mentor. And maybe this goes back to like the father shit. I've always felt that not figuring stuff out for myself was cheating. And so I thought I had to teach myself how to hunt. That's why I did so much solo hunting for so long. And so if I was going to say anything to anybody, find a community and find mentors. And I think the best way to do that is events like HaHa, because you're going to meet people who are at your similar development place. And you're also going to meet people who are 1 or 2 levels above you. So you have the opportunity to meet peers, develop potential hunting partner relationships, and you also have the opportunity to meet people who could fulfill that kind of mentorship role in your life. So I know you got a young family, money's tight. If I'm only going to get a weekend away, I'd rather go spend it scouting. I think in the long term, earmarking in your calendar 1 or 2 events a year where you're going to be able to network and meet other like-minded people is going to pay exponential dividends for your development moving forward.
I really like that point.
I do.
It's not just about the classes and learning what the experts have to tell you. It's also about the interpersonal relationships, peer-to-peer stuff, and then we're also doing the hunt swap.
Yep.
Right. So you can come here and probably get some gear you'd never see for a price you'd never see.
Yep.
Meet people that way, but then also
not
meet
from
people.
my fucking day.
No, but, if Tanya's running it, it's going to be
I
cheap
gotta
as
keep
fuck.
an eye on her. She'll be fucking giving
that's
everything
right.
away.
So don't forget there's a hunt swap too. So a hunt swap meeting, that's what the public is allowed to come and attend. The classes will be paid classes, so you're going to have to sign up ahead of time. That's the thing.
On the, with the internet.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with finding your mentor, I had a freaking fantastic guy who kept running into hunting, and he's like, "You're fucking up my elk hunt." He was an older Polish dude, about timber cruiser.
Yeah.
He's about 5'6", all gristle. He's like, "You keep fucking up my elk hunts, you might as well follow along." So he quit it. And I hunted with him for 6 years. Dave Vishneski, he fucking taught me so much. But what's happening with the internet is we've become so fucking